Well, for more, we now bring in our reporter, Makgala Masiteng. Makgala, a good morning to you. Talk to us about the mood in the Free State, where you are, and if you've managed to speak to any learners.
Good morning, Naledi. Yes, we've managed to speak to some learners here in Windbeck. We are currently at Ipopeng Secondary School. We managed to speak to them because now they have already said are busy writing their first paper. But mostly some are saying that they are nervous, but they are ready because they're saying that they've been going through a lot of work throughout the year, preparing themselves for this work. Even some saying that they've been making sure that they do extra classes to ensure that they are ready. And of course, we know that Free State last year they got 88.5%. They've been targeting to get 90%. But currently I am with the MEC of Education, Makgala Masiteng, just to take us through how they've been preparing themselves leading to these final examinations. And of course, talking about maintaining that first position as the Free State province. MEC, thank you very much for joining us. Let's talk about preparations leading to where we are. We know that Free State, you've been saying that you want to keep that spot, the first position.
Yeah, thank you very much. Indeed, the province of the Free State is going to be number one, and not out of the wish, but because of the good work and a lot of preparations that we have made as a province. We have started in most of our schools, even way before the schools open this year. That's number one. But two, we have had a specific intervention programs given the type of issues and the problems or challenges which we have identified. So our learners have been hard at work over the weekends. There were many camps that we have had as a department, and the schools have also had their supplementary camps. In most of the schools, as things are now, some of those learners will be in those camps till the last day of the examinations. But importantly, is that we are quite specific in terms of our interventions. So all of those learners who needed support, they've been supported from day one. And we have also had assistance of everyone, even the private sector in terms of maths, science, and even accountings. Various bodies and everyone have invested in all of this intervention program. So it's all systems go. That is why we're confident that the 90% that we've been yearning for, it is going to be possible with these exams and also with the 50% bachelor pass rate.
I was coming to that. What you are targeting to achieve as the province, and why do you think it's possible for you to get or to reach that this year?
Yeah, we are going to get 90% minimum. From next year will be known as the 90 plus province, because once we set that bar of 90 and 50% bachelor rate, I don't think we're going to be able to regress, because all our interventions are solid, and our preparations as we now enter in this exam season for the grade 12s. But we also do a major preparatory work for the grades preceding that, and that's where we're also going to intensify next year, that we not only focus mainly on the grade 12, but right from the foundation phase, even though some of the results will be seen a decade later. But that's our major focus when we start next year, so that we have this solid foundation or a solid system that will then be able to move on itself, which will not rely on us having to make this extraordinary intervention. So that will be what makes us confident as a province that indeed we will do so. But over and above that, one must indicate that the results in the 3 quarters, they clearly shows that this is a cohort that has been doing quite good, even more than the previous one that we have had. Also taking into account that these ones, there are those that were also highly affected by the COVID when they were entering the FET phase. But despite that, the results and all the signs clearly demonstrate that they have been doing very well. So if you compare us on quarter to quarter with or year on year with the last year, you could see that quarter 3 was quite good. On year with they were also above the 2022 one. So all the signs are there, and empirically so, one could see that this cohort is quite more advanced than the previous one.
Let's talk about, lastly, about the concern that is always there, that learners shouldn't cheat, there shouldn't be any sort of cheating in the process of examinations.
Yes, indeed. One, we are we're a province that really places so much premium on credibility. Our learners also participated in the pledge signing, where they all commit not to cheat. But over and above, even this morning when we addressed the learners, we have also reminded them about those small things that they should consider. Because sometimes one just carry a cell phone and forgets to leave it outside or to switch it off. Unfortunately, once it is found in his or her possession, it's seen in a serious light. So we're making them aware on all of those small things that they should consider, but we are also going to continue running all of those awarenesses, sessions with them, even through our different media platforms as a department, internal and external, to ensure that they are always reminded at all times. And we've requested their teachers to also ensure that they are reminded on what to be aware and not what not to be aware of, so that we don't even have even a small mistake or an error that will actually lead them into trouble. But generally, as a province of the Free State, we are confident that there's credibility from our learners, and their conduct proves as such.
Thank you very much. That is the MEC of Education in the Free State, Makgala Masiteng, just taking us through their preparations leading to the start of final examinations here in the Free State. Of course, saying that they are targeting to reach that 90% and saying that they will be known as the 90-plus province after setting that target. Of course, in the Free State, we have more than 35,000 full-time learners who are expected to sit for the final examinations, and more than 8,000 part-time learners expected to take part in these final examinations. With that, Naledi, is back to you.
All right, Makgala Masiteng there bringing us the latest from Free State as our matriculants get ready to write English Paper 1. Tumelo Machogo is monitoring the matric exams and joining us live from Mpumalanga. Tumelo, good morning to you. How are things looking in Mpumalanga?
Well, indeed, Naledi, good morning. We are here at Mgobo Secondary School in Nkomazi, in rural Nkomazi. This is one of the schools that actually performed under 70% last year. So the province is here to encourage the learners actually about the exams for today. There are about 261 that are actually sitting for the exam at this school. But in the province, we've got about 68,000, more than 68,000 learners that are full-time learners that are sitting for the exams this year in the province. But let's speak to the HOD of the province, Miss Lucy Mbuyane. May I just thank you for speaking to us this morning. Just talk to us about the readiness of the province. Are you guys ready, and how are you guys hoping to do this year?
Indeed, Mpumalanga is ready. We have prepared all our learners, we have prepared all our schools, we prepared all our teachers, so we are ready to administer this examination. I can just indicate that we've had all our schools that performed below 70% attending mandatory learner and teacher support programs. Our learner support programs were, for instance, autumn schools, weekend schools, camps, winter classes and spring classes, and we provided all our learners, about 54,000 of them, in quintile 1 to 3 schools with tablets that were resourced with all the materials that they required to be able to go through the curriculum in grade 12. So indeed, Mpumalanga is ready to do well in this examination.
And also, we saw last year when there were like a number of protests where some of the learners could not go to school, when there were like a number of protests. What measures have the department undertook to ensure that we don't suffer the same events where there are community protests that are happening so that the learners can go and write the exams without any disturbance?
I must say that our learners are ready to sit for the examination. The department has prepared everything to make sure that the record of 13 years of an incident-free examination is maintained. What remains is to have our communities come to the party, because we believe that our first line of defense is the communities themselves. So we want to urge all communities not to disrupt the examinations. But we have made sure that we put systems in place so that should we have any eventuality of a community protest or we have natural disasters, we're able to make sure that the children still continue with their examinations.
I understand also at this school, the learners, they will be coming on Wednesday to stay at the school up until the exams are finished. Why was that decision made for the learners to stay at the school so that they can camp out throughout for these examinations?
We want to thank our parents for doing that. This is one of the schools that will be having camps for the learners throughout the examination period. The reason is that there is a lot of issues outside there that divert the attention of our children from focusing on this examination. So the majority of our schools, with the permission from the parents, have camps that will make sure that the children focus on the examination. They stay in school, they are supported by the parents, they are supported by communities around them. There are a lot of people in business that are providing resources to ensure that this class of 2023 can survive, can do well, and they can focus on the exam and assist the province to attain the target that we have set.
Talking about the target, what's the target for the class of 2023?
You know, the work that we do is for all the learners, and we want all the learners to do well. But we do have a target of 83%, that if all our learners are not passing, at least 83% of them must do well. So we're working to make sure that we attain that 83% to improve from our previous performances that we have had as a province.
Matt, thank you so much for speaking to
You're
us.
welcome.
That was the HOD here in Mpumalanga talking to us about they have set a target for themselves of about 83%. Last year, they received about 76.8% in the province. So this year, they are hoping and aiming for 83%. And also these camps we've seen in a number of rural areas where the schools, parents and SGB, they've decided that the kids must go to the school because they're worried about transportation, they're worried about community protests, so they want the kids not to be disturbed during this protest. So a number of schools, especially in rural parts of this province, we've seen in Gauteng, we've seen in Pina townships, and also we've seen here in Nkomazi where parents have actually decided on these things so that they can ensure that the learners actually only focus on their exams.
Yeah,
now, lady?
It is really just a fascinating concept, Tumelo, right? This idea of learners going into these camps and really zooming into their exams with no distractions. Hopefully it'll bring some results. Have you spoken to any of the learners? Have you seen any of them? I mean, are the nerves visible on their little faces?
Well, we spoke to a couple of them just before they went into the exams room, because now they've already started writing exams. Now, lady, they are excited, but there are a little bit of nerves from them. But they're saying that they've prepared. They're saying that, they've been preparing for this since grade 10. So they're saying that, teachers have been preparing them from grade 10, and then now they are ready for this exam. But there are nerves. There are nerves. Some of them, they're saying that they want to achieve about 6 distinctions. So there is excitement, but also a lot of nerves from them.
Yeah, big targets that they're setting for themselves, and of course we're wishing them all the best as well. Tumelo Machogo, they're speaking to us from Mpumalanga, bringing us the Matric exams as they roll out in that province. And of course we're keen to hear from you as well, just how you see those exams playing out where you are. Tweet us at @theagenda_SABC. All right, let's continue getting some of these Matric coverage now. We're joined by our reporter Jade Paulse in KwaZulu-Natal. Jade, a good morning to you. How are our learners doing in KZN?
Well, a very good morning to you, Naledi. And here in KwaZulu-Natal at Umlazi Comtech, we spoke to learners and it's all about excitement. They said they're prepared and they're ready to sit for their first English paper today. They were flanked by quite big individuals in the province that were cheering on, that being the Premier of the province, Nomusa Dube-Ncube, as well as the Deputy Minister, Regina Mahahule, and then as well as the MEC for Education in the province as well, Mbali Fraser, just motivating these learners ahead of their paper. They also did a walkabout and they will also be going to another school monitoring developments on the ground. But just to speak about KwaZulu-Natal and all the challenges that we've had this year, but also what we can expect from the class of 2023, I am joined by the MEC of Education, Mbali Fraser. Thank you so much for joining us, MEC. It goes without saying that it's been a challenging year, very difficult for KZN. We've seen floods also destroying some of our schools, especially in the rural areas. But MEC, are we really ready for these examinations?
Oh, definitely. You know what happened on Saturday at night, what the Boke did, that is what KwaZulu-Natal will do to other provinces. We are ready with all the challenges that we had, but we are going to make it. And at the most, we are looking at 100%. But unfortunately, as I've said earlier on, that there are challenges there and there. In some cases, the sad story of Elena, who's pregnant, even here in the school, who can't be part. But we are going to make sure that 100% is our maximum, but our minimum pass rate for KwaZulu-Natal will be 85%. We are expecting nothing less than that. And you saw it this morning that the learners are excited, they are ready. And definitely come next year, you'll come here to celebrate.
Now, you've spoken about that learner that was pregnant in the school. We do know that KZN is also leading with a high number of pregnancies. If we go back to the issues and the challenges in the province with regards to flooding affecting some of our schools, we have 170,000 learners sitting, full-time learners sitting. With your assessments as the education department, have you visited some of the schools? Are they ready? Are they equipped?
Oh, definitely. Our teams are all over the province. And you must remember that what happened last week was a disaster again for our schools. But trust me, all the schools are in a good position to write their papers today. And we'll continue working hard in ensuring that schools are in a conducive environment for our learners to pass. We have delivered a number of mobile classrooms to those schools that were affected by the storm last week. So our committees are also ready. We have the joint committees. Should anything that we are not expecting to happen, but happens, we'll make sure that we are ready. Our committees sit, we come up with the solutions. But what I can tell you is that the educators in KwaZulu-Natal worked very hard, and we appreciate that. But I think another challenge that I won't miss this opportunity to address it is that one of the communities, please, if they need something, they must go to the relevant offices, not to our schools. They must not disrupt our schools. I think that's the challenge that we had last year of them going to school, disturbing our learners. I'm pleading to them not to do it this year.
Okay, MEC, before I let you go, how many schools were affected by the flooding last week? If you can just share that number with us.
It's more than 43. It's 43. And a number of them were from Umkhanyakude, of which 8 of those in Umkhanyakude were high schools. So we have prioritized them. As I'm talking to you, they are settled, they're writing their exams now.
MEC, thank you so much for talking to us. Well, Naledi, I also do have the Deputy Minister with me, Regina Mahahule, who has joined us just to talk to us. Why in particular KwaZulu-Natal, Ma'am? Why are you here?
KwaZulu-Natal is the province that is giving us the highest number of learners in the country, in South Africa. Of the 717,000 learners that have showed up today to write their examination, more than 170,000 they come from KwaZulu-Natal. So if KwaZulu-Natal doesn't get it right, the country is not right. So the health in education of the country is based on KwaZulu-Natal, followed by Gauteng. That's why I chose to come to KwaZulu-Natal to support the MEC here and the schools in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm not saying other provinces are less important. They are very, very important, including the Northern Cape with the smallest number, because we want all learners in South Africa. They are national asset, and we want them to pass.
I'm sure you're listening there to the MEC, just talking about some of the challenges here in the province. Just a couple of weeks ago, we saw to the streets and also marching. There is a shortage of teachers in our schools. That is a known fact. Teachers are complaining that classrooms are overcrowded, and there has been a cry from National Treasury to please bail out not only KZN but several other provinces that are in dire need. Has there been any communication with regards to a budget being, given to some of these provinces that really do need it?
Our country has extremely limited resources. So all departments, they come to National Treasury begging for money, and the purse is very limited. But when coming to education, which is an apex priority that is building the society, our priorities are changing. South Africa is looking at education to change even the way we're doing. In the past, we're just focusing to take learners from grade R to grade 12. But now, they want us to respond to the changing demands of the world, that we must produce learners that are responsive to the skills that are demanded. That's why now we must have schools like this one. With technical high schools, we must have vocational schools, we must have schools of priorities, that maybe it's an agricultural school, it's a tourism school, is this, and all those, they demand resources, human capital. They demand teachers that are relevant to those skills. And our norm, we count as per the number of learners and teachers. And in this school, if you say, because the school has 1,300 learners, so we're going to give them according to the ratio of 1:35, then there will be subjects that do not have teachers. These are the things that when we sit down with National Treasury, we are telling them that the demand is too high. They expect education to produce relevant skills. So relevant skills, it goes with relevant human capital. So, but with KwaZulu-Natal in particular, because it's so vast, it's big, it has so many numbers of learners. We spoke with the National Treasury. We believe that on Wednesday, when the minister is outlining the budget, we'll say something about KwaZulu-Natal, because we went to make that undertaking that let's bail KwaZulu-Natal out. But it's not only education that went to National Treasury, it's all departments. They went with their needs. Security cluster have their needs. The country need to be secured, need to be protected. Economic cluster they have their needs. So all the sectors have their needs. But education, we believe, because we're in this space, we believe that we must be prioritized and KwaZulu-Natal must be bailed out. That's our request to the National Treasury, which we did, of course. But we'll look from the little they have, how do they cover us. We're saying to the unions, please, your matter is being paid attention to. They must not just think that we're not taking care of them. We're talking to them, we're begging you, you are our major. Are taking your matter into serious consideration. National Treasury and the Department of Basic Education and the Department of Education in KwaZulu-Natal, together with Provincial Department of KwaZulu-Natal, were taking the matter serious and were attending to the matter.
Okay, well, we'll have to see from the Minister of Finance when he announces that whether KZN and other provinces will be included in that budget. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Deputy Minister of Education, Regina Mahahule, just talking to us about the plans afoot on Wednesday. Finance Minister, Gauteng, possibly announcing some relief for KZN as well as other provinces. We also heard from the MEC of Education there, Mbali Fraser, talking about the readiness of KZN, that they're going to definitely produce 100% this year, much like the Bokke, bringing it home. It's back to you, Naledi, in studio.
Well, Jade, thank you so much for that update. Jade Paulse speaking to us there from KZN, where learners there are also starting to write their National Senior Certificate exams. And of course, get onto our Twitter page, right, at the agenda_SABC, a great platform there for you to share your messages of support with our learners. We're asking you the question on the handle at the agenda_SABC. The question is, as the National Senior Certificate exams start today, what is your message of support and advice as they embark on this journey? So what is it that you would have wanted to hear back in your day when you were writing your Matric or National Senior Certificate exam? At the agenda_SABC. Well, the Department of Basic Education says it's all systems go for the grade 12 exams starting this morning. Matric learners from schools across the country are writing their first language paper today. Our reporter Hasina Gori caught up with learners at Rosefield High School in Kempton Park just before their exam.
The Matric class of 2023 is gearing up for their final examination this morning. We are at the Rosefield School of Specialization here in Kempton Park ahead of the examination. I want to bring in some of the students and just get a sense from them. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. It's finally my final exam. I've been waiting 12 years to get over and done with it. So I'm feeling great.
What's your plans, after exam?
After exam, I'm planning on going to a college and completing my engineering studies on automotive.
Thank you so much. And you, how are you feeling this morning? How's the nerves as you get ready to, sit for that first paper?
I'm grateful for having the chance to be in Matric, and I hope my parents are proud that I made it, and I'll definitely make them proud.
What's been your biggest challenge so far, just getting ready for this examination?
My biggest challenge was my coping mechanisms, and I couldn't cope, but because of the friends I have, they helped me cope, so I'm grateful for them.
And how are you feeling? You're going into that hall, just about to walk in. What's going through your mind right now?
First and foremost, I believe that I'm a product of grace, so it's an opportunity. A lot of people didn't make it, so understanding that I have this opportunity, I'm really grateful. Yeah, it's only that.
Thank you so much. Good luck to all of you as you go in to your first exam, and all the best. That was just some of the learners here, the Matric learners at the Rosefield School of Specialization in Kempton Park. Just one of these schools where students are gearing up and getting ready to write their first exam. It's the English paper that's set to begin later this morning. The Minister of Education as well as the Gauteng MEC for Education are visiting the school this morning to wish the class of 2023 all the best at this critical stage of their academic career.
Yes, some eager faces there getting ready to write their exams.